Well, hello there, happy campers. Welcome to this Magic the Gathering video all about mono red, aggro and standard. I've been playing this exact build of the deck for a couple of days now, on around mid-platinum ranks, and I've got like an 85% win rate, so it's fair to say that I think I've pretty much cracked the code on this one. Although saying that I am rather garbage at this game, so please help me, oh my god. So I'm going to do a couple of videos on this one, just to like go through the deck process and like the play-by-play analysis, and just see how garbage I am. I've been winning very consistently recently, but as soon as I turn OBS on, I know that I'm going to lose every game I'm going to enter. So here we go. So the deck list I'm using starts at the very top here. We are using 4 copies of Fervent Champion. Not very good on his own, honestly. He's a 1-mana 1/1 who just like whacks stuff. He's good at whacking stuff, don't get me wrong, but he's only a 1/1. A lot of people like misconstrue this as like saying, "Oh, your Fervent Champion's really good because he can do 1 damage on turn 1." Oh my gosh. No. No, the main reason why we use Fervent Champion is because if you have 2 of them out, he becomes 2 1s, because 2 of them, they give each other +1 attack, and then he's really, really good. And then I've got like, he becomes really, really good. And you just win games with him. Also, equip abilities cost 3 less to activate, so we're going to go on to Embercleave at the end of this deck list. You can equip Embercleave onto something, and if that something dies, then you can equip it onto Fervent Champion for free, and then you just win when that happens as well, so that's also very, very good. The other one drop that we're using is Fireblade Charger. He's the best one drop there is. I've seen a lot of people using... I don't think I have him. There's like a shaman dude who's like does something, I don't know. Here he is. You can't see that, can you? Because I'm in the way. Oh well. But just can't see the effect there. So everyone's been using Goblin Arsonist here because when he dies, he deals 1 damage to something, which is all fine and well. But so does Fireblade Charger. He deals 1 damage to something as well. Except if you equip him with something, he has haste. Very unlikely to show up in anything, but you do get that added benefit. Exact same cost, exact same stats. He's an uncommon, Arceus is a common. There's really not much difference there. I just prefer like this goblin over that goblin. Sue me. We have 4 copies of Shock. All the pros say that you shouldn't use 4 copies of Shock because apparently a 1-mana deal 2 isn't good nowadays. Now I'm not doubting that theory at all. It's just that I'm smooth brain, Shock, zap him, mono red. That's what you do. So that's what I'm doing. Rimrock Knight, very good for bamboozling people, giving the old bamboozle. You want to trade them something, they say, oh yeah, I'll trade with your creature. Whoop-de-doo, they go to trade for something, and then during the battle step thingy, you play Boulder Rush. You give it +2 attack, then you win the trade, or you go equal, or you go equal, but then you've probably won the trade anyway, because you probably like traded some Fervent Champion plus Rimrock Knight with like some free, and then you just win, because Fervent Champion has first strike, and you just kill 3 frees with this, which is blimmin' excellent. And then after that, you get a 2-mana 3/1. I can't block, but that doesn't really matter too much, because you have something else that can just go pap to the opponent's face with. And if you have a Rimrock Knight and a Fervent Champion, Rimrock Knight becomes a 4/1 when it attacks, which is always nice. Don't really use it for a creature too much. I mean, just use it for the old bamboozle, but you know, it's there anyway if you need it. Robert of the Rich. Mythic rare, don't know why, but he's a 2/2 that you play it, and then you whack it on the same turn. It has haste, it has reach. His whole big paragraph of text basically says that if you whack someone in the face, you can nick the top card of the deck and play it as if it was a red card. I think I've used it once on like some 1-mana 1/2 or something. I don't really use it very much at all, but very good for getting 2 damage in on turn 2. Very good for like a reach effect if they're playing like some sort of like 1/1 flying something or other. Very good card. I use 4 copies of it because it's a very good card. I'm using 4 copies of everything so far because I like consistency in my decks. I know like a lot of people like say, oh, I'm gonna 2 copies of this card and 1 copy of that one and 1 copy of this card and 3 copies of this one. No, I very much build my decks with a consistency in mind, just knowing that like I have a card. The reason I'm putting it in my deck is because it's a good card and I want to draw it regularly, please, thank you. Anax, hardened in the Forge. This boy right here, he's been hardened in the Forge. Have you been hardened in the Forge? No, I haven't. I don't think anyone has, but this boy, Anax, he himself has been hardened in the forge. He comes out as a 3-mana 3/3 generally. Sometimes he's a 2/3, sometimes he's a 5/3. He just gets bigger the more red stuff you have on it, which is very nice. And also when stuff dies, it gets replaced with a 1/1 satyr token. I can't block, but you can still whack back people with those 1/1 tokens, which is all fine and well. One of the criticism that people have over Anax, and certainly one criticism that I had in the past, was that because he is a legendary creature, you can only have one of them out at a time, and so playing 4 copies of them is the big bad, because you can only have one of them at a time. If you have 2 of them in the hand, then it's very redundant, and you could have used that extra slot in your hand for something a bit more useful. Now the thing with Anax though, is he buffs himself up if you have 2 copies of them. So you have so say for example you have your 1 copy of Anax out, and then you play your second one, you kill the first one, but the second one, because it's a 2 red mana, it's already buffed the first one by 2, and so the first one's power is equal to 4, and so because of that, his effect kicks in, where instead of playing 1 satyr token when he dies, Anax instead plays 2, and then so the first Anax dies, you get 2 tokens, and then the second one comes out, and trust me, it's good. It's good. Bonecrusher Giant, one of the best cards in the deck probably. 2 mana, you get to zap something, just give them a stomp. One playing the games of stomping, stomp their face, stomp their creatures, stomp their planeswalkers, stomp, 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 stomp. This is one stompy boy right here. And then you can stomp him, and then he can also come out as a 3 mana 4/3, which is stupid good, by the way. It's stupid. I honestly don't manage to play him as a 4/3 too often, because I generally either end up playing a Anax or a Phoenix in the Ash for 3 mana rather than Bonecrusher Giants. Generally because I like to keep holding them in the hand for their stomp effect if I want some more like burst or like pop a creature or stomp stomp stomp. They're still very good, incredible like utility in just having like, oh, it can either be an instant or it can be a 4/3. Who knows? Fantastic utility. Stomp stomp stomp. Phoenix of the Ash. There was a Magic the Gathering tournament, standard tournament last weekend when players who are much better than me competed, and they brought a load of control decks which just shifted the meta stupidly. Before that weekend, honestly, like 70 to 80% of my games have been playing against Rogue, like Mill Rogue, or like whatever, like Rogue, whatever Rogue you want to play Rogue. And so with Rogues, because there's just like milling cards out your deck, Phoenix of the Ash is fantastic, because if they mill Phoenix of the Ash, you can play it. You don't need to draw Phoenix of the Ash if they mill it, because you just play it from your graveyard, which is, that is bittersweet. Bittersweet against those silly Rogues. Not too many Rogues being played nowadays. Everyone's playing like stupid like dragons and companions and whatever else you want to play. But if you do yourself go against a Rogue matchup, play 3 copies of Phoenix of the Ash. Play 4 if you even want to, because if they mill Phoenix of the Ash, you can still escape it for 4 mana. It becomes a 3/3. It has flying. It has haste. Equip it with something. Whack, 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 whack. Get milled, basically. Torbran, Thane of the Redfell. I don't know how I messed that name up so much. I played 2 copies of it. I probably should be playing 3. I'm playing 2. Although I probably should be playing 3. However, I am playing 2. Fantastic late game card. If any of your creatures or any of your spells deal damage, they deal 2 extra damage, just because this fella says so. He's legendary, so you can only have one of them out at a time. I don't draw him at all. Let's see if we draw him in these next few games. I probably won't. But yeah, very good late game. I have 4 Embercleaves, which we won't go into. I have 4 Embercleaves, which is the card that we're going to move on to next. And so I don't really like having too many late game cards, especially in an aggro deck like this. So I think 2 is enough, even though I'd never see it at all. But if you don't have Embercleave, he's still very good for like finishing off the game. If you have like, especially if you've got like your like Rimrock Knight in play, if you've got like Anax tokens, then he becomes stupid good, because all these like additional like 1/1s and like 3/1s, they just deal 2 extra damage. Just shock deals 2 extra damage. You can stomp people for 4. It's great. Love it. Only if I drew him. Embercleave, very good, very strong, very swing, win the game on turn 4. It has flash, so you can conduct your, like, I'm going to attack with these people, they conduct their blocks, and then you can Embercleave, like, whatever doesn't get blocked, and then you can, like, double whack them in the face, or you can, like, double whack into, like, a trade into the face. Equip it to a creature, it gains +1/+1, it has double strike and trample, so you equip it with something, it attacks twice. If you're attacking into a minion, it will attack over the minion with excess damage and then whack him again in the face. It costs 6 mana, but it costs 1 less for each creature you attack with, so I'm generally, with this in hand, I'm generally attacking with 3 to 4 creatures, and so this thing costs like 2 or 3. Equip onto something, get the double strike, get the trample, get the +1/+1. If you don't get the win by that point, and that creature dies, like I said earlier, you can equip onto Fervent Champion for free. The equip cost here is 3. Fervent Champion reduces the equip cost by 3, that costs 0. Equip onto Fervent Champion, he becomes a 2/2 with double strike and trample for 0. It's fantastic. Embercleave, MVP. So I play. So normal players would play Castle Embereth at 4 because I don't really know why, honestly. I used to play Embereth at 4 myself, although the main benefit of playing Castle Embereth as a land is because you get that second effect where you can pay itself and 3 other red mana, so 4, and then everything gets +1/+1, which is okay, but I've never had the opportunity to use it at all. 4 mana is very expensive, and usually by the time I have 4 mana, I'm either like Embercleaving, I'm playing Phoenix of the Ash, I'm stomping, I'm shocking, I'm doing stuff. I don't really have the mana to be like spending it giving +1 attack to everything. So it has, in my experience, only been like a slightly more inconsistent mountain. So I kind of looked elsewhere, see if there was any like other like fancy lands I could use. I didn't really want to use like the dual lands that scry because there's not really any point. But I found Dwarven Mine, which I play as 3, not 4, because I'm very scared of playing this at 4, but at 3 it's still really good. Dwarven Mine is a land from Throne of Eldraine. If you have 3 other mountains, it comes in untapped, otherwise it comes in tapped as well. But if you play it untapped, when you have 3 other mountains, you get to summon a 1/1 dwarf. And this fella's better than like Anax's boys, because this dwarf fella, he can actually block, which is fantastic. And not only that, you know, he helps if you attack with the 1/1 dwarf, you're reducing Embercleave by 1. You just like, if Door runs out, he deals like 3 damage instead of 1. You're just opening yourself up to a lot more possibilities. Worst case scenario, you're equipping Embercleave onto a 1/1 dwarf, making it a 2/2 of double strike and trample. At 3, I've managed to pull this off very well. Really hasn't been inconsistent at all. I'm pretty much, with the low costing of this deck, I'm very much able to like plan around Dwarven Mine if I want to like turn 2, if I want to turn 3, play it on turn 4 and just play the 1/1 dwarf. It's been really, really good. And the good thing as well with Dwarven Mine is that Dwarven Mine itself also classes as a mountain, so it has synergy with itself. So if I have like 2 mountains and then 2 Dwarven Mines, I can go mountain, mountain, Dwarven Mine tapped, and then the second Dwarven Mine coming untapped, and then because I have 3 mountains, Dwarven Mine counts as a mountain, I get a 1/1 dwarf from that, which is very good. And 20 mountains, this seems about right to me. You do want like a good amount of mana in your aggro decks. You don't want to go on too short, because in your opening hand, if you've got like 2 mana, you're generally speaking going to like stay at 2 mana, maybe go to 3. But ideally you want to stay like a consistent like 4 mana plan of this deck. And so 23 lands here, the 20 mountains and the 3 Dwarven Mines seems to get that for me very consistently. 3 mana is good, 4 mana is ideal, 5 is a little too much. 23 lands here seems to be like just enough, really. I haven't like been upset with my amount of lands at all with this layout here. I'm probably going to eat my words in a minute when we go into some games. We're about to go into some games after you've like done with me blabbering on about.